So how does one qualify for the Chili Bowl? Well, originally this video was going to be a short because I wanted to very quickly explain to everybody, but after going over the process for about 4 hours, I realized that this cannot be a short and I think it could be a 10-minute video. So I made some diagrams and some photos and things like that, try and help explain this to all of you. How do you qualify for the Chili Bowl? It is very elaborate. So let's go over how the Chili Bowl works. This year, there are 388 drivers entered into this year's Chili Bowl. I think the record is 394, so we're about at the record all time. That was back in 2022. 24 drivers are going to run in the main event. That can change. I'll explain that later as we go on. And there are 5 nights of qualifying: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Or not Saturday, sorry. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So today, actually, Sunday, when this should go up, they're going to be doing practice, and Saturday is the main event. Drivers are allocated to a specific night of qualifying. So drivers will only get one night for a chance to qualify for the race. The way those nights will start is the driver will draw a number at random, and the higher the number, the better for the driver. So let's go over how these qualifying nights work. There's a lot of information here. I will go through the process. So 78 drivers will be allocated to each night. There will be 2 nights of 77 from the math I've done if there's 388 drivers, because you can't divide 388 evenly by 5. So that means there will be 8 to 9 heat races. I wrote features. It's heat races, actually. That's just me doing bad termage. Lineups will be set by a random draw, like I said before. And through those 8 to 9 heat races, the top 40 in passing points will advance to the C event. If you want to know what the passing points are, here they are now. As you can see here on screen, passing points are given out by passing, hence the word. Now, you can finish the race, start and finish the race, first and get 100 points. That's good. However, if I start 9th and I work all the way up to 2nd, I will get more points than the driver who just led the entire race because I passed a bunch of cars. The reason why they reward passing is because these are only 8-lap races. Mathematically, they're not even a mile long due to the 1/10 mile track that is the Chili Bowl. So, being able to do that in that short a period of time is actually very impressive. The same thing goes the other way for if I start 2nd and I fall back to 7th, I lose a bunch of passing points. So, while you may think, I'd rather start in the back or I'd rather start up front, it's really all dependent on being able to drive through the field or holding that position. After those 8 to 9 features are run, usually they like to do 7 to 10 car features, so the division of what they're going to do will be determined the night of. The top 40 from those races in passing points will be able to advance up to the C-level races. As you see here, I broke this down into 4 levels. There's D-level races, C-level races, B-level races, and A-level races. So they advance to C-level racing. Those top 40 also carry their passing points up from the D-level races. I'll explain what that means in a moment. And the 41 through 68 drivers, so those 28 that were just outside the threshold, they will also advance to C-level races, but they don't keep their passing points. They no longer are going for passing points. For the 69 to 78 ranked drivers, those 10 that are at the bottom there, they will be unable to advance. Their night is done from the D level. So they sit here in the D level. Moving up to the C level here, the top 40 drivers will be split into 4 10-lap C races here. Again, their passing points carry up to this round, so combining them from the D level with the C level races, I'm trying to explain this as best I can. The top 16 in passing points through those 2 rounds will advance past the B level all the way up to the A main. So the top 16 get to be in the A main for that qualifying night. They skip the B level. The other 24, they will make it to the B level still. So they get up there, but they will have to try and race their way in through B level races. Moving on to the 28 that we have not talked about in the C level, they will not have their passing points anymore, as said before. So they will be split into 2 races, 2 14-car races, 12 laps each. Top 4 from each race will advance to the B event. So only 8 advance out of those 28, compared to how everybody in the top 40 gets to the B level still, regardless of where they finish in the C level races. This leaves 20 drivers unable to advance. I don't know why I wrote 30, so 20 drivers will be unable to advance. That means for the B-level races, we have 32 drivers, the 24 from the top 40 and the 8 from the 41 to 68 group. They'll split that into two 16-driver races, which will both be 15 laps each, and the top 4 from each of those races will advance to the A main at the end of the night. That leaves 24 unable to race in the B level and 24 able to race for the A level. That race will be a 30-lap event at the end of the night on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. And only the top 2 will advance to the Chili Bowl in that race. Only the top 2. That means 22 drivers will be unable to advance left in the A level. So this is where things are going to get even more complicated here, because I'm trying to divide this into groups. Envision that all these drivers that are unable to advance are left in these platforms at the moment, right? This will matter when we go to Saturday night. So let's start off with the pole dash, which is for those 10 drivers that made it in from the 5 qualifying nights before. So those 10 drivers will battle for where they'll start in the top 10 of the field. The winners from those nights will pick between numbers 1 and 5, and second place drivers will pick between 6 and 10. The drivers who do 10 and 9 will run 3 laps at the same time qualifying. The fastest lap of those 3 between those 2 drivers will advance. The faster driver will then have to face the 8th seeded driver. And then the fastest between those 2 will advance to face the 7th and 6th and 5th and so on and so forth. You'll keep eliminating people until the last driver remains and they win the pole. The way the starting positions will be determined is by order of elimination. So as I wrote here, if you were the first one eliminated, you start 10th. Second one eliminated, 9th, and so on and so forth. Now for the rest of the night on Saturday. We will start off with what the D-level drivers are doing. So there are 48 drivers that remain in the D-level that did not advance through the qualifying nights. They will run in 2 O, P, and Q mains. There won't be a Q main tonight, actually, or there will not be a Q main this year. We don't have enough drivers to fill that out, but there will be a P main. So the worst drivers from qualifying, or passing points, between positions 5 and 10, or 5 and 9 for the 2 nights that they won't have 10 drivers eliminated. Basically, there will be 2 races with 14 drivers, 10 laps each. The top 6 from both of those races will advance up into the O main, where there'll be 2 of those. That is the rest of the drivers who were eliminated, the top 4 of each night who didn't make it up to a C-level race. They will, again, have 16 drivers in each race, 10 laps, and the top 6 from each of those races will advance up into the N main. The N main are the 11th and 12th place finishers of those C-level races, those drivers who were eliminated, who were in this 41 to 68 group, if you remember that, right? So in those races, there will be a group of 32, 16 drivers. The top 6 from each of those 2 races will advance up into the M main, and then it's the 9 and 10. You can see we move up, up, and up, and up just like that. Now, there's 138 drivers that are in this group that did not advance up into a B main race from all 5 of those qualifying nights. And obviously, we will eliminate drivers as we go along here. Every single main here eliminates 10 drivers from making it into the race. So with that, we go up to the B-level drivers. Again, this is how it breaks down again. The J, the I, the H, the G, and the F main. As you can see, it's the same process. We just keep working our way up through the field. All 10-lap mains with 10 drivers getting eliminated and 12, and then eventually 10 drivers transferring up here through the B main races. And then finally, we get to A level. So once you get up to this point, obviously there are drivers left from the A mains and the qualifying nights. They all get thrown into these races. So the E main will be the worst finishers from that, 21st to 24th of the A mains from the qualifying nights, and they'll also take the 5th place finishers to add up to 20 drivers running 2 races for 15 laps. The top 5 from both of those races will transfer up into the D main, which will be the 15th to 20th place finishers from those A main qualifying nights. 20 drivers, 15 laps. Then we move up to the C main, where it's the 9 to 14, 10 from the D main, again, so on and so forth, like I said before. And then finally, we have the B main. This is the second biggest race to the main event. 3 to 8 drivers, finishers. So even if you do not make it into the Chili Bowl on the qualifying night you're in, let's say you finish fourth, you get put immediately into the second highest race to try and make it in, or the highest race to make it in. All you have to do is finish top 7 in one of your B mains. There's 20 drivers that'll be in each one, so 40 drivers will be trying to get the top 7 spots to advance into the Chili Bowl. The top 7 from both B mains make it in, which adds up to our 24. Now, of course, there are provisionals. So this year, the reigning winner, Logan Seavey, if he somehow doesn't race his way in through any of these means, through qualifying night or the B main, he will be given the 25th spot in the race. That happens every year. The reigning champion, if he doesn't make it in, can get in automatically if he is entered. They also hold every year what is called the Race of Champions. So what that is basically is every previous race winner who is at the race that year runs in that event. And if the person who wins that is not in the race yet, they will be given a 25th or 26th spot if we have to give the 25th spot to Logan Seavey. So that's pretty much how it works. It's very convoluted to an extent, but it's also kind of straightforward if you get what it is. Hopefully I explained it well for everybody. Chili Bowl starts this Monday. Practice has already been today on Sunday. So make sure to tune into it. It's on Flow Racing, I believe. I'm going to be watching it. I'm sure a lot of other people are going to be watching it as well. It's a very fun race. And I might put out some more historical stuff on the Chili Bowl as time goes on. So, yeah. Other than that, have a wonderful day. I'll see you people in the future. Take care.